Wage gap, the mental load, and the long aboard catcall all highlight the ways in which women can lose themselves and their identity, turning into a commodity that can be traded. Being a commodity serves as part of a woman's identity that has become extremely prevalent in today's society, in today's world. Additionally, women often lose their identities to their male counterparts who desire someone submissive, bordering on property. In novels, The Great Gatsby and The Metamorphosis, Daisy and Greet are commodities because they trade themselves to obtain a lifestyle and status which exemplifies their loss of self. The Great Gatsby, written by F. Scott Fitzgerald, takes place during the Roaring Twenties, encapsulating the burden women feel when they desire social status and lifestyle from wealthy and dominant men. Similarly, The Metamorphosis, written by Franz Kafka, highlights the transformation of a prominent male figure of the Samsa family into a vermin, suggesting that the woman of the family, like Gregor's sister, had the responsibility to acquire financial stability and status when Gregor cannot. To begin, in The Great Gatsby, the global issue is explored as Daisy continuously loses a part of who she is when she sacrifices herself in the consumptive relationship she has with Gatsby when she marries Tom. The excerpt chosen captures Daisy's state the night before her wedding, having implicating regrets before marrying Tom. Fitzgerald reveals Daisy at her most vulnerable and valuable, stating, "At the wedding, he gave her a string of pearls valued at $350,000. Daisy's string of pearls symbolizes Tom's wealth and high social status. The detail of $350,000 highlights Daisy's loss of identity, as it suggests that was her own selling price. The pearls represent Daisy selling herself into Tom's luxurious lifestyle, financial stability, and high social status, ultimately painting her as a commodity worth no more than the value of jewelry. Daisy is often correlated with value or money throughout the novel, referred to as an object, and that her voice even sounds like money. All the men in her life see her as something possessed or something to be possessed. In addition, Fitzgerald uses compelling language in the Southern vernacular to reveal Daisy's hesitance. Tell him all, Daisy's changed her mind. Say, Daisy's changed her mind. When Fitzgerald repeats Daisy's changed her mind, it underscores how strongly Daisy doesn't want to marry Tom. Daisy is a commodity as she is only marrying Tom for his social status, and she generally does not want to be tied down in a marriage with Tom, but she wants the luxuries that come with it. This desire is enough for Daisy to sacrifice the things that make her content, making her lose a part of herself, even though Daisy explicitly repeated change her mind to highlight the unwillingness to marry Tom. Fitzgerald remarks on how a new identity seems difficult to escape, because even when faced with the choice to be with Gatsby once again, he asks for too much and is too new, and his money is too new and nefarious for Daisy to leave the high society Tom offers. Additionally, her loss of identity is revealed later in the novel as Daisy follows through with marrying into the dynasty of the Buchanans. Moreover, Daisy's left in emotional shambles after realizing her relationship with Gatsby has come to an end when Fitzgerald notes, she wouldn't let go of the letter. She took it into the tub with her and squeezed it up into a wet ball and only let me leave it in the soap dish when she saw that it was coming to pieces like snow. Now, the author intentionally provides the reader with a visual image of Daisy's emotion when he mentions she wouldn't let go of the letter, underscoring the reluctance of ending a relationship with her true love that provides her happiness in a bargain for Tom's wealth and materialistic lifestyle. Also, the author encapsulates Daisy's vulnerability and distraught state through the symbol of the letter when Fitzgerald notes, squeezed it up into a ball, symbolizing that Daisy's actions of crumbling the letter from Gatsby highlights her metaphorically abolishing the relationship she has with Gatsby in exchange for Tom's status, leaving her emotionally unstable, and altering her identity. Fitzgerald makes it clear that Daisy and Gatsby were not meant to be with the simile like snow. The relationship is fleeting, melting away, and undefined. The inability to define the relationship and Daisy's identity outside of Tom keeps her safely in Tom's arms. Another work that exemplifies women becoming commodities when they trade themselves for status and economic guarantees is In the Metamorphosis, when Greet formerly was a domestic servant that blossomed into a beautiful lady capable of marriage when she took on responsibilities. In the excerpt, Greet's capability for marriage and development into a commodity is extolled when the Samsa family is on the train departing to a new destination that will suit their financial budget after Gregor's death. For example, after Gregor's death, the Samsa family begins to move on without him, and they receive a reward for fulfilling the responsibilities when the narrator states, not only had they earned this break from work, but there's no question that they really needed it. The parallel structure of not only, but they underscores the two similar ideas presented. The women in the Samsa household become busier around the house, providing more for the household when Gregor is unable, both working and taking initiative in exchange for higher social status and financial stability. The price is their identity as domestic servants, transforming into something entirely different themselves for financial stability. Greet's change is a stark contrast from her humble, soft-spoken young girl at the beginning of the novel to a matured woman with duties. Furthermore, the Samsa family is portrayed sitting on the train heading to a new destination when Kafka mentions, leaning back comfortably in their seats, they talk to each other about future prospects. The imagery Kafka employs, like leaning back comfortably in their seats, emphasizes the physical comfort the family exudes as they feel hopeful for the future. Greet's parents are aware their daughter is evolving and she's becoming a commodity as her innocence and beauty is now capable of being exchanged in return for economic security and status when she marries a man. The hopefulness of economic security is imbued when Kafka's use of diction notes future prospects, creating significance to the fact Greet's identity will be traded for the hopes of status and wealth for the family. Greet's parents wouldn't have had the hope of future prosperity that their daughter could attain at the beginning of the novel due to the fact that Greet was taking care of Gregor out of kindness, which converted to a duty towards the end of the novel, making her matured. Additionally, Greet's visage after the trauma of Gregor's transformation is demonstrated when the author states how their daughter, who was getting more animated all the time, had blossomed recently, in spite of all the troubles which had made her cheeks pale, into a beautiful and voluptuous young woman. The author utilizes imagery like blossomed and beautiful and voluptuous young woman to highlight Greet's appearance, emphasizing that she has developed into a beautiful young woman and she's morphed into this woman with commodial value that men fancy. Also, her identity has been altered since Gregor's transformation because she's taken on different responsibilities that make her of commodial value. The detail the author employs, such as who was getting more animated all the time, exposes that Greet's identity has changed and she's become more lively, enthusiastic when the narrator states more animated. Greet is now a viable, lively commodity that can be exchanged for economic stability and status. Gregor had more power as the vital provider of the Samsa family. But when this was stripped away from him, when he was transformed into a vermin, Greet had the opportunity to gain the power within the family, or to gain more power within the family. Okay. Both texts of the Metamorphosis and the Great Gatsby deeply correlate with the issue of women becoming commodities because they trade themselves to guarantee themselves a lifestyle and status. In the Great Gatsby, Daisy continuously rejects Gatsby, causing her to lose an aspect of who she is, and she trades herself for the materialistic luxuries Tom can grant her. Similarly, in the Metamorphosis, the woman within the novel took on responsibilities such as work. Then, specifically Greet in particular, became a commodity because she was capable of trading herself for men counterparts in their status. The global issue of identity resonates with modern women despite these texts being more than 100 years old. Hailing from two different parts of the world, these authors still accurately portray the struggles of women who are often forced to make difficult choices based on economics and not love. The relevance in today's society cannot be overstated as women still seek ways to advance in career, family, and relationships without losing themselves. Kafka and Fitzgerald show what can happen when a woman loses part of herself. Authors are still prompted to write about identity, particularly the female perspective, as women vote and continue to advocate for change within their own household and beyond. Female protagonists who do not change who they are for a partner are becoming more commonplace because society needs to recognize women individually and not something men possess.